What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Wolves Weekly, a brand new installment of my weekly Wolves series where we go through everything happening in and out of the Molineux. As always, guys, if you'd like to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Obviously, we had a week's break last week as I went over to Swansea to watch Wolves in FA Cup action, but we're back today and hopefully we've got plenty of stuff to cover. And obviously, we're going to be talking about the question of the day. We'll have a brand new question of the day this week, along with all the other news stories as well. But before we kick off, I'd like to point you in the direction of my sponsors over at One Football. It's a football app which gives you live scores, live fixtures, following your own teams. So you download the app free. There's a link in the description down below on the first line. Click that app on your phone or your browser, what have you, and you can download it on the App Store or the Play Store if you're on Android. You pick your favourite teams and leagues to kick off, and there you go. You have your own following, which is the top news from around the world. You can click all news, also transfer news with rumours as well. You got matches, which is obviously all the fixtures that are going on at the moment, along with your following, which is your team. You can go onto your team and have a look at your team's news as well, which obviously has some things that we're going to be talking about today as well. So go check that out, One Football. They've helped this channel a lot over the last month or so. So I really would appreciate you checking them out. But moving on to more pressing matters, we're going to be talking about Wolves over the last week or so. Obviously, missing last week. We may go into stuff that happened more than 7 days ago. But we're going to kick off straight away with some transfer news as always. Now, I've got a list of rumours. Last week, or the week before, the last episode, we had so much rumours to go through. But today, we're going to be looking at them and start off with one that has already happened. Mikel Zyro has joined Charlton on loan. Now, Zyro, when he first came in, was very, very decent. I think he bagged a couple of goals on his first start in the league against Fulham, I believe. But obviously he had a really bad injury and he's never really broken back into the team since, unfortunately. He's 25 years of age, so he's still got a lot of time to grow as a player. He's very versatile, as we know. He can play on basically either wing and through the middle up top as well. So I think in League One for Charlton, he could be a very, very decent player. Another player that's looking likely to leave Wolves this month is Ben Marshall. Rumours are circulating that he's going to be joining Sunderland on a potential loan deal, but Wolves would prefer it to be a permanent deal. But Express's Star mentioned this morning that a move to Sunderland is unlikely. Wolves are looking to get back at least the money that they signed him for 1.5 million back in last January. I think he's worth that. So if any teams want to take a punt, he's definitely worth that sort of money. Yet again, Wolves have been linked with Benik Afobe. Always seems to be linked with us ever since he left us a few years ago. He's linked again with us and West Brom as well for around £10 million. I don't think that's going to happen. Bournemouth probably more likely to want to ship off Graben, who we've also been linked with, obviously. But another one that Wolves, Villa and Cardiff are interested in signing Angers striker Enzo Crivelli this month. He's 6'5" tall. He scored just one goal, though, in 15 this season. Again, sounds fairly similar to Rafa Mir, Bonatini, maybe a hold-up player. But obviously, those are just rumours at the moment. Another player Wolves have been linked with is Yassine Bel Elmani from Newcastle. A number of clubs linked with him, including a few Premier League clubs. Currently in the Newcastle under-23 side, struggling to break into their first team, but he's been apparently labelled a similar sort of player to Riyad Mahrez of Leicester. Leicester are one of the teams also looking at him as well. It'll be interesting to see if we make a move for him. And Chris Martin is another striker. Again, he always seems to be rumoured to join in, but would we sign him from a promotional rival? Would Derby sell to a promotional rival? I'm not so sure. Another out is that one of the Wolves youth players, 16-year-old Wolves whiz kid, he was labelled, Owen Otasawi, has been chased by Everton, Juventus, Ajax and Schalke. I've not really heard much about this guy, so I can't really comment on how good he is. But those are a few of the rumours flying around. Express Star also mentioned today that big transfers are very unlikely to happen this January. He's probably more looking at signing Jota on a permanent deal and focusing on some younger players from around Europe. Now, we say that, but, you know, you'd probably label someone like Vinagre as a younger player from Europe, and he could easily, on his day, fit into this side. So if Wolves are bringing in younger players from Europe, that Pinamonti may be an option, and I think he personally could go into the first team, and not for big bucks either. Probably similar to maybe that Yassin Bel Elmani. Do they class him as a young player? Who knows? So it'll be a very interesting sort of last 6-7 days. I think the transfer window will be shut this time next week. So we may either pull Wolves Weekly forward or maybe do Wolves Weekly Extra if anything big happens. But, next week will be full of all the news that has been going on. So after Wolves, had their defeat against Nottingham Forest on Saturday, it was revealed that the Wolves players were going straight off to a camp over in Spain. It was revealed that it was Marbella was the place they went to. Obviously, a lot of the players putting things on their stories on Instagram and Snapchat and all sorts. And it looks like they're having a little bit of fun out there, to be fair. We've obviously seen clips of them training and stuff, but a lot of the time they seem to be lounging around. So I think it's just a good time to sort of recharge the batteries, get a bit more team bonding and so on. It's not a bad idea at all. I mean, Nuno had his comments here. One of the issues, of course, is the weather. We need vitamin D. We need the sun. We need to work in an environment with better weather conditions. The other point is that we're going to stay together for more time. We're going to spend 24 hours a day with each other, only us. So it'll be interesting to see how well this works. My theory behind it as well, we've brought someone like Rafa Mir, obviously seems to be quite prolific, had a few decent clubs chasing him. He played in Spain for all this time, but he's just been chucked straight into the deep end in colder weather in England. Maybe if he goes back to sort of climate he's sort of familiar with, and then playing with players that he's going to be playing with, he might build a little bit more confidence. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Obviously, Wolves will be playing Ipswich on Saturday when Wolves will obviously be back. But it does look like they're having a little bit of fun out there as well. There's a video here of, I think it was on Leo Bonatini's Instagram story. On their first day in Spain, they seem to be playing wide call, sort of credit card lottery, debit card lottery. It looks like they're doing it with driving licenses, though, where you pick a random person out of a hat and they have to pay the bill. And unfortunately for Roderick Miranda, it was him. Please, no comments about his betting history, but yeah, Miranda forced to pay everyone else's bill. But it looks like everyone's having a little bit of fun out there. I've seen videos of Ryan Bennett singing, some of the lads sort of lounging around as well. But hopefully they're still getting the hard work done, and hopefully we can come back with 3 points on Saturday. Obviously, one of the players that was in some of the clips as well is Jordan Graham. He was recalled last week from Fulham. It'll be interesting to see. It seems like he's going to be a part of the team now this season. Never really broke into Fulham's squad, and obviously we know what he's capable of. We've seen some of his talent, and hopefully we can see that again sometime this season. But he's back, and obviously with the squad. Ben Marshall, who we mentioned earlier, isn't with the squad, so obviously that seems like he's going to be leaving. So Jordan Graham, getting them mixed up. Jordan Graham looks like he's going to be a part of the team this season. So last week, in the last episode, the question of the day was regarding atmosphere and what could be done to improve the atmosphere, and what were people's thoughts. And the argument is still continuing over on Instagram and Twitter and all sorts, and Facebook, and fans just don't seem... I mean, is it a positive because we're playing fairly well that this is all we have to worry about? I hope so, but fans just moaning about the atmosphere. I think Wolves did something on Saturday with the fireworks and stuff. I seem to like it, but I saw a few people moaning about it. But we've got comments obviously coming in. Something Sam, he says maybe get some entertainment on the pitch at half time at the start of the game. Not sure what it could be. I just think some sort of entertainment would benefit. They have got rid of those games at half time, haven't they? You know, we used to have the games at half time. I used to love Bet You Could Score, where you obviously lob it from like a number of positions on the pitch. It was also about the Hi-Ho Wolverhampton we discussed as well. So Kia Walker says, I think we should keep Hi-Ho Wolverhampton. It has a good meaning. It gives us better atmosphere, and it fires everyone up. And in honesty, it's what we're known for. This is a chant that should stay. We've got also Scotty WWFC says, I think the atmosphere has been a lot flatter this season, but in comparison to other grounds, and so the atmosphere at Molineux on a poor day is still decent. If you think back to the Chelsea game last season, for example, the atmosphere was incredible all game, with Chelsea fans even getting the North Bank singing for large parts of the game. This season, playing smaller teams whose small away following are tucked in the top corner of the North Bank. In the North Bank, making no noise, it's impossible to get any banter going with fans. Saying that, we need to improve the atmosphere. It's the least Nuno and the players deserve after this season. How we improve is a tough question, though. But you see it straight away. Against Nottingham Forest on Saturday, they're back on the Billy Wright lower, the Steve Ball lower, sorry, and the atmosphere is going again. Whether that's just a coincidence, I don't know, but it's going to be very, very interesting. The replies to that, obviously, with me, it's always tough, but Chelsea, as an atmosphere, was brilliant. So, that is the question of the day. We'll obviously have another question of the day at the end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But, again, as always, thanks for all your answers. So, as we know, we lost a episode of Wolves Weekly last week to the game against Swansea, and Wolves went over to Liberty Stadium, a very good following. Again, unfortunately, though, not getting the victory. Swansea coming out with a fairly strong team. Wolves, again, with a slightly rotated side. But we never really got going. First half was pretty flat. No real urgency. No real threat to Swansea. But obviously going 1-0 down. Great goal from IU. And it hit half time. But second half, it came out very, very strong. Looked a lot better. Obviously, the substitution of Diogo Jota changed us a lot. He just ran at the defence, which we were lacking. And grabbed a goal straight away. He had another couple of good chances, but Swansea hit back immediately. And unfortunately, we weren't able to get back in the game. So that was us out of the FA Cup. So Swansea will be going to face Notts County, who would have been our opponents if obviously we went on to win. But at least we can focus on the league, or so we thought, as we hit the game against Nottingham Forest. We came over to them, and unfortunately, again, another defeat, and this time a very rare defeat. It was at home. 2-0, a game where Wolves looked fairly comfortable in first part of the first half. They win a free kick right on the edge with a misplaced pass from Neves. Cody couldn't really get onto it and forced to make a foul. Free kick goes out. It looked like it just went wide. Bobby Madeley gives a corner, and from the resulting corner, half cleared, and Forest take the lead, and shortly after go 2-0 up. Nuno made a big risk at half-time, going quite attacking, bringing off the two wing-backs, but again, it didn't quite work, and unfortunately, Wolves losing 2-0. Nuno even taking the blame for that result, which you're not going to see very often. Is it his first ever mistake as a Wolves manager, or big error? Who knows? But obviously, unfortunately, having a loss, and it seems like this loss seems like it's put us in the relegation zone or something, because some of the negativity of the fans, I think we're losing the plot a little bit. I know it's not a nice feeling to lose, but man, everyone's saying the wheels fall off and all sorts. When we lost in the cup against Man City last time, as we lost to Swansea, we lost the next game to QPR. And then what happened? We went on a 14-match unbeaten run. If we hit this ground running now again, we beat Ipswich on Saturday, all will be forgotten. It'll be good times back at the Molineux. But obviously we do play Ipswich next. It is a must-win game. We're still 9 points clear. We're still fairly comfortable at the moment, but Derby are in good form. And obviously next month is going to be very difficult. We've got some big away games: Borough, Leeds, Villa. It's going to be difficult, but it's transfer season. It's almost the end of the transfer window. Hopefully we've got plenty more drama to go. And the question of the day is, what is the craziest transfer rumour you've seen related to Wolves? I've heard one a few years back, Miroslav closer to Wolves. That would have been a crazy one, but obviously it was more linked with Wolfsburg rather than the mighty Wolverhampton Wanderers. But until next time, guys, hopefully you enjoyed it today. A bit of an update of Wolves and so on. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know if you're going to Ipswich away in the comment section down below. Unfortunately, I won't be there. But hopefully you guys enjoy it. And hopefully Wolves come back with the 3 points. Until next week, I'll see you all very, very soon.